The Glorious Revolution of 1688 wasn't just about a king losing his crown. It was a turning point that would forever change the political landscape of England. I, a simple seamstress, found myself in the heart of the storm. What started as whispers on the streets became the foundation for a new England, where the power of the monarchy would be challenged, and ordinary citizens like me would witness history being rewritten. My name is Anne, and I ran a modest seamstress shop in London. Life was predictable, stitching dresses, handling demanding customers, and staying out of politics. King James II sat on the throne, and though his Catholicism worried some, it hadn't affected my work. I was content in my small world of fabric and thread, oblivious to the fact that my life and the entire nation was about to change. Then the murmurs began. People were growing uneasy about James II's favoritism toward Catholics, and there was talk of Parliament being ignored. My customers, once concerned only with fashion, now spoke of rights, freedom, and the future of England. I wanted stability, just like they did, a future where I could run my shop without fear of sudden political change. We all desired something bigger, a country where our rights would be protected and the king couldn't rule unchecked. When William of Orange arrived in England, London descended into chaos. One afternoon, I found myself caught in the middle of a street brawl between supporters of King James and William. People were shouting about who had the right to rule, and for the first time, I realized that this revolution wasn't just about changing kings. It was about changing how the country was governed. The idea that Parliament could hold more power than the king was unheard of, but now it was all anyone talked about. I had never seen such division in my lifetime. As William's forces closed in on London, the streets became battlegrounds for political ideas. In my shop, customers argued fiercely over the future of England. Some sided with James, fearing the loss of royal power, while others supported William, excited by the prospect of a new government where Parliament would finally have a say. I had to be careful with my words, navigating these conflicting loyalties to keep my business running. But beneath it all, I sensed a bigger change coming, one that would affect even ordinary people like me. Then came the news. King James had fled to France, and William and Mary were crowned. The city celebrated, and for the first time, it felt like we had achieved what we wanted: stability and a future where the monarchy could no longer rule without limits. The new rulers accepted Parliament's power, and soon, the Bill of Rights was established. This document guaranteed the rights and freedoms of citizens, setting the stage for a more democratic society. As a seamstress, I never imagined that such a shift in power could affect my life, but it did. People now talked about their rights in ways I had never heard before. But the price of this victory was steep. Some of my best clients, loyal to James, fled the city or faced backlash from those celebrating William's victory. One evening, I watched as a mob attacked a house down the street, accusing the occupants of being traitors for supporting James. It was terrifying to see how quickly people turned on each other, even after the revolution. The division between Catholics and Protestants, between royalists and Parliament supporters, had left deep scars. The rights we had gained didn't come without cost. Families were torn apart, businesses destroyed, and fear lingered in the streets. Life slowly returned to a new kind of normal. My shop was busier than ever, with clients coming in to discuss the new political order while being fitted for dresses. The monarchy's power had been checked, and Parliament had become the true authority in the land. I overheard conversations about how this revolution had laid the foundation for constitutional monarchy, a system where the king would reign but could no longer rule without the consent of Parliament. The rights of ordinary people were being written into law, and though I was still just a seamstress, I could feel that something fundamental had shifted. The Glorious Revolution wasn't just about changing monarchs. It changed the very nature of power in England. Parliament's new authority and the establishment of the Bill of Rights meant that for the first time, citizens had real protections. I too had changed. I had witnessed how quickly the world could shift and how important it was to have rights guaranteed by law. The revolution had opened my eyes to the reality that even a seamstress could be affected by the politics of kings and queens. It was no longer just their game, it was ours too. The Glorious Revolution may be remembered for its peaceful shift of power, but for me, It was about watching a nation transform. A new balance had been struck, one where the power of Parliament outweighed that of the monarchy, and the rights of citizens were protected under law. The stitches of history are often sewn in moments of great change, and this was one such moment where even a seamstress could feel the pull of revolution.